it's the way the system is working that is giving us these outcomes, and there really needs a fundamental shift at the root. I see it like we're playing this big game of Monopoly, and every generation we're going around the board and wealth is accumulating, and we're at this point now, and it's like the 10th round of Monopoly. It's getting near the end, and some people are kind of like got these big hotels in the blue spaces, and a few of us are just like going, would rather go to jail than like to keep going around and hit those properties. And it's not, and I say the Monopoly ends the same way every time because those are the rules of the game. And what we actually need to do is flip the board and play a whole different game that's cooperative and regenerative, where the rules are different.
Welcome to the Holo Movement Awaken Your Purpose Podcast, where we interview incredible people that are living and breathing their purpose, and you can too. If you would like to support this programming, drop us a like or leave us a review. Now let's dive in. Hi everybody, my name is Zenka Caro and I'm founder of LightNet, and my passion and purpose is to make the impossible possible. I'm here today with Kara Stonehouse, and her project is called Love Organized. So she looks 50 years into the future and says, how do we build a project that is sustainable in communities? How do we build Love Organized? How do we do the financing? How do we do the living arrangements? How do we take this entire community and make it what we've always wanted to do? And then how do we spread that around the world? Welcome, Kara. It's great to have you.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. Zenka.
You have a TED Talk coming up, right?
I am so excited. It's going to launch on my birthday coming up on May 28th.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Well, congratulations on that. And we look forward to linking to that in the bio. And, you've really taken on a big project. And as everybody knows, I love people that think big. Because for me, that really excites me. And so what is your passion and purpose? What have you discovered that to be?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny because it's so similar to what you just said. When I'm doing my graphic recording and strategic facilitating, as well as this ceremony work that underpins a lot of that, I say I make the invisible visible so we can make the impossible possible. And so, and so I just try and be a light that brings the possibilities forward. So we're really aligned, I think.
That's great. Yeah. So tell me more about this Love Organized idea. Like, explain to people what you mean.
Yeah. Well, when we look around the world, if all the people who are into sustainability and regeneration, when we look and we ask questions and we look deeper, and the greatest thinkers, we come down to the same conclusion, especially with systems thinking, that it's the way the system is working that is giving us these outcomes, and there really needs a fundamental shift at the root. I see it like we're playing this big game of Monopoly, and every generation we're going around the board and wealth is accumulating, and we're at this point now, and it's like the 10th round of Monopoly. It's getting near the end, and some people are kind of like got these big hotels in the blue spaces, and a few of us are just like going, would rather go to jail than like to keep going around and hit those properties. And it's not, and I say the Monopoly ends the same way every time because those are the rules of the game. And what we actually need to do is flip the board and play a whole different game that's cooperative and regenerative, where the rules are different. And what those rules are is our governance agreements and our economic agreements. Like, what is money? What brings money into existence? And how do we spread that money out among ourselves? And those rules are creating this inequality, and different rules could create equality and harmony with Earth.
Wow, that is such a great way to explain what you're talking about. And how does that look specifically? Can you give us a little bit more detail on finances and government and how you're flipping the board over? Because it sounds really fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes down to the values that the rules of the game are made from. So it would be three really significant shifts that would be making in governance, culture, and money. So in governance, and I'm inspired by this by Dr. Shelley Ostroff, she says the only legitimate purpose for governance is to take care of the health of the whole. And it sounds so simple and obvious, but you're like, oh, what's the purpose of our state governments? It's to take care of the growth of the economy for a defined portion of the people. And so their success metrics of GDP are actually counterintuitive or disruptive to creating the health of the whole. And so if every country, even though you're in charge of your state, if we all knew and agreed that taking care of the whole globe is the most important thing, then that's the governance major shift. And then in culture, right now we're taught to compete to succeed in the current economic system that's based on growth. And so we all have to go like this and make our way and make ourselves as independent and powerful as possible and successful. But what if the culture shift was really all about us developing on our inside, becoming the best person we can be, living into our purpose and fulfilling our dreams? Because what really happens is you have your fire, your passion, your dream, and then someone at some point, either very early on or just when you graduate, says, stop that, get a real job, stop dreaming, don't be so naive, just do what the boss says and make that plastic crap, sell that high sugar fructose thing and chuck it in the garbage, and that's how it works, and don't lose your job, and we all just kind of go, and so school would be different, because it would be all about the Waldorf type of school, and that would be the school that is funded by the government instead of the school that sort of gets us into the industry. And every aspect of life would be slightly different if we had that lens in our culture, that inner development, purpose-led culture. And that if we really take that on, that can change in one generation, because it's a decision, and if the government goes with it too, then it happens even faster. And the third big shift is in the money. How is money made? What is money? What's our agreement around money? And right now, money's made from debt, and we have to make more and more of it. We have to keep growing so the economy doesn't shrink, and we're kind of on this rat race, and we don't really understand. Well, we just keep making more money, and the governments just keep having more and more debt, and you're like, it's working, but can it keep working? I don't. It's just it's kind of like no one's really got a very clear answer on that, but many of us feel that it can't keep working. It's not sustainable, and it's driving us to destroy the earth. And so what if we redefined what money is and how it's created? What if money was created by our commitments to care for the whole and for each other? And that's how you got rich. That's how you got wealthy. That's how you got high status. And that's how you got all luxuries and perks. The more you're living into your purpose, and destructive activities are worthless in this economy. We would just, if we played by those games, we would get these different results.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I love how you're talking about root causes. And I, as an social architect, I know exactly what you're saying. When you change the base assumptions, when you change the base rules, then something else can really flourish, which is so exciting about your work. I love this vision, and I know you're working on grounding and funding this first community to test everything out. And you have all these cool ideas around like retirement and all the money. It's very, very detailed and very well thought out. It's really exciting. So what was like, was there a moment where you realized that this was your purpose? Like it kind of sunk in for you and you're like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, it's been bubbling slowly in the background of just different visions and just different times saying, what if it was like this? Shouldn't it be like that? Or having I think it was Craig Hamilton or someone I was listening to one of his programs, and he did a visioning exercise with us, and I went on a journey, and I went to Mars, and I kind of saw it all, and I saw sensors everywhere, and I saw how the different holons would be working and bioregionally, and I just had a sense of it, like, oh yeah, that all works, and I didn't do much with it. And then in the World Unity Week context, where everyone gets together online and shares, and many people can be sharing in different rooms about their visions. And I thought, and through the energy of that space where all these evolutionaries came together and loved each other and supported each other and were so good and kind and open and putting ourselves out on Facebook, I felt my vision come through. And I sort of late at night, always at World Unity Week, each year something happens. Like one night I get the big inspiration and I stay up all night creating something. And one time it was writing out this Love Organized document, just sort of, when everything's been gestating for a while and it just all flows out in one long piece, that flow state. And again, I presented it once or twice to 3 or 4 people, 5 or 6 people in these small convergence rooms, and thought, okay, well, that was fun. And then one day I shared it with a friend who's in your purpose programs, Dan Spinner, and he said, Kara, I really feel a transmission from this work. This is really something. What are you doing with this? And I was like, no, bringing it. I'm sharing it here and there. He says, no, I want to mentor you. And so he held a mirror up to me and helped me see what I was manifesting, and just through that constant support, it's been growing stronger and stronger. And then so now I'm starting to kind of close down all my other projects and say, like, yes, this is going to be the focus. This is my legacy. I might not get there. It might not end up anything like all the visionary things that I wrote. I understand that, God laughs at our plans, but it has that stretch and that pull and that inspiration. Let's go there. Let's try. Let's start co-creating it.
Great. That's fantastic. So what's the hardest part of you living your purpose and passion? What has been over the years, like the biggest struggle, the biggest difficulty?
It's been pretty great. I've really managed to have a part-time nonprofit job, and then a part-time building up my graphic recording, and then that slowly, working together with nonprofits to do bigger and bigger collective impact projects. So, balancing family and trying to be a leader is sometimes challenging, but not too bad. I think I am something that's like kind of the heart behind Love Organized is something that's really hard. Is I see all these beautiful people who are these systemic change evolutionary leaders, and we're not thriving. We're not getting paid. We're not winning the grants. We're not, the businesses try and then fail, and we're burning out, we're getting sick, and we're losing hope sometimes. And so that's a big part of the vision that I'm putting together with Love Organized is like, how do we pay each other to do this work, to be these systemic cultural creatives? What's the currency model we could use, and how can we share resources within our lives so that I can spend my whole time being a conscious co-creator. You can spend your whole time being a conscious co-creator. Someone else can run the forest school that they want to run. Someone else can do the sustainable agriculture that they want to do. And then we have a system that makes it easy for us to trade all those goods and services. So we have a bubble regenerative economy where we're supporting all of ourselves to thrive. And then we can make some savings in that for our retirement and care for each other in our old age. So it's like a community of the old, but then it also sort of scales out globally wherever you are living in a city, so you don't have to be stuck in an eco village. So either not stuck in an eco village, in a pretty nice eco village.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. Well, what advice would you have for people that are out in the world? They haven't found that spark of passion, and they're not even sure where to start. Like, number one, why don't more people find their passion? And number two, what can they do to find it?
Yeah, I really feel like what I was saying earlier, like your passion doesn't pay so often, right? Like the things we love to do that's how supply and demand works. Like everyone would love to be just a creative and an artist and a singer but there's a scarcity of money for that, and the hard jobs that no one wants to do, project manager, CEO, trash collector, like those all sort of need to get paid for them to be done. So sometimes it's harder if you don't know what to do, like, oh, I'll just go work at the bank, or I tried a little bit with my purpose, but people said it wasn't realistic, so nobody put a mirror to me and said go, and or I didn't have the family support, like I did through my life, and yeah, and I think the culture doesn't encourage us very much to think about what our purpose is and to spend time looking for it and cultivating it. And that is something we want to do in our Love Organized community pods, to have a space where anyone's just wishing, where are the people who's trying to make something better, or how do I start, or how do I start to explore what my purpose is, that they could come to these community pods and have a little home group that you stay with throughout the time, to where we develop that together, and where we feel it feels a little bit like church, a little bit like home, a place where like you're not judged and you don't have to perform, but that we are supporting each other to try and be our best and find our purpose. So not too different from your purpose program that you guys run.
Yeah, we have found this like very weird miracle slip where when you engage your courage, despite the commentaries of that's not realistic, it's not going to work, when you engage your courage, something strange happens to the field. And when you stand in your courage, like something strange happens and it starts to materialize around you. I mean, we don't even know how this works, but it's very interesting. So yeah, you find the time to do your passion until it turns into, it eventually turns into your job. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's interesting. So, what effect do you think you've had on other people in the world by living your purpose?
Yeah, sometimes I don't see it, but I'll notice little things. I'll notice that a seed I planted a long time ago that I felt like no one heard me or it didn't matter, then I'll hear back later that mattered when I was at my industrial design job and talking about sustainability, that people, oh, you made me think, or that sort of thing. And just, working with charities throughout the year, just having the impact of spreading the education, and just trying to be, I think, just energetically being, I think people see how happy I am and how joyful I am living my purpose. And I think that's can be inspiring to ask me, like, well, how do you navigate? How do you make it? And then I tell them about the, like listening to the tingle and like following that feeling of happiness and joy.
Yeah. Do you want to expand on that? Like what it feels like to follow that tingle? Like, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess for me, my dad, when I was going to university, he gave me a book of the places you'll go, and in it he wrote little notes on the different pages, and he said, Kara, you've always danced to the beat of your own drum. And so I always felt like I didn't just want to wear the same clothes that were popular or just do the thing that everyone was doing because it was cool, but it was always really important for me to feel what really brings me alive. And often that's not what's cool. So like being in theater or not drinking as much as others or that kind of thing. So that was hard sometimes. But yeah, when I find that flow state or that tingle, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just kind of a knowing in the gut and in my heart, and feeling home and safe with certain people versus in cool places. I just feel kind of scared and vulnerable, I guess. judged.
Yeah, feeling good, and I know what you mean. Like when people feel good, they can do miraculous things. When they feel safe, when they feel in their element, it's really cool. So finding that is really important for all of us. What do you think the world would look like if the majority of people were living their purpose?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it would look like the love organized vision, where there'd be so many more jobs where we're caring for each other and we're coaching and healing. And that is my vision also for maybe what can happen with the AI revolution. If there's a lot fewer technical jobs, maybe we can start to revalue all the yin work, like all the coaching and caring and inner development, and maybe there could be quite a blossoming of that. But we have to find the ways that the reciprocity flows through all of that.
For sure. Is there anything else? Is there any final statement that you want the world to know?
Yeah, I think that yes, we are ready to build brand new systems of economy and care. We can play a brand new game together because we have the power and we have the tools, this generation, and we can create the new game and we can play by the new rules, and that game is a game of love.
Thank you so much, Kara, for coming on today. Congratulations on your TED Talk. We'll be linking that down below so everybody can check that out. And best of luck on Love Organized. I want to come visit.
Great.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to get to know some of the most important thought leaders in the consciousness movement, I invite you to join us for the Holo Movement Wave in Portugal, May 29th through June 2nd. There is going to be incredible luminaries there, such as Lynn Twist, Lynn McTaggart, Samuel J., Shamini Jain, Samantha Sweetwater. These are scientists, musicians, and leading thought leaders in the consciousness movement. And this is your chance to fly into Lisbon, head over to the Cascais beaches, and really spend time to get to know, to plan, and cohere with some of the most important leaders on the planet as we head into this new age. It is our goal to give you the courage to begin to identify your passion and live your purpose for the sake of yourself and for the sake of us all. Over the course of this multi-year collaboration and research project, we have identified patterns and a 7-stage process that many people go through on their way to living their purpose. If you'd like to browse our archive or figure out what stage you're in, head over to holomovement.net/purpose. If you would like to browse our living library of resources, or if you found your purpose and want to contribute what worked for you, head over to lightnet.org/purpose. And as Mark Twain used to say, the most important day of your life is the day you're born and the day you figure out why. You're not alone. We will look forward to helping you on this incredible journey. This has been a collaboration between Holo Movement, LightNet, and incredible people like yourself. Special thanks to Good of the Whole. We'll see you next time.